STARepublic Weekly Horoscope from June 5th to June 11th, 2023. Moving forward, Aries. The alignment of Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus in your second house brings a focus on your economic power and abundance. You have the potential to excel financially, but watch out for unexpected changes. Love and entertainment take a prominent role as Venus enters your fifth house, making you popular with the opposite sex and sparking a desire for relationships. Be cautious, though, as impulsive decisions could lead to relationship issues. Your intellectual curiosity will be fulfilled with the Sun in your third house, encouraging communication, learning, and travel. Changes in friendships will occur gradually but significantly with Pluto retrograde in your 11th house, and it's essential to value your alone time while avoiding unhealthy coping mechanisms. Your competitive nature will be heightened, but remember to keep it balanced. The opposition between Venus and Pluto may bring intense emotions and feelings of jealousy. Be mindful of your selfish tendencies during the square between Venus and Jupiter, and focus on contributing to the greater good. As the weekend approaches, conflicts may arise in relationships, especially with family members, causing emotional distress. Avoid relying on substances to cope and aim to stay sober. Get ready, Taurus. This week, your curiosity will be at its peak as Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus align in your first house. You'll have a keen eye for what's happening around you, even if your ideas seem a bit unconventional. But hey, that's what makes you refreshing to others. Embrace the good times that are coming your way and let your generosity shine. You're not holding back when it comes to others or even yourself. Your income might be on the rise, thanks to the Sun in your second house, but be mindful of overspending on luxury and extravagance. Meanwhile, Pluto's retrograde motion in your 10th house allows you to dive deep into your passions with laser focus. At home, Venus joins Mars in your 4th house, calling for your attention to family, wealth, and creating a cozy living space. While you've been busy with work or socializing lately, it's time to bring some harmony back into your home life. Saturn and Neptune in your 11th house encourage you to cherish your dreams, engage in social activities, and heal from past pain. Just watch out for potential betrayal from jealous friends. The Mars square Jupiter aspect might temporarily strain your family dynamics due to your strong desire for socializing, but fear not, it will gradually improve as the weekend approaches. Be mindful not to compare yourself too much to others, as Venus opposes Pluto. During this time, you might feel emotionally sensitive and find it challenging to get along with others. Remember, your artistic interests don't always equate to talent, so don't be too extravagant. The square between Jupiter and Pluto warns you to stay focused on noble passions rather than personal interests. As the weekend arrives, be cautious of being overly sympathetic and sacrificing yourself for others, as some may try to take advantage of your kindness. Conflict within close family relationships might leave you emotionally distressed, so find healthier ways to cope with stress instead of turning to alcohol or substances. Stay sober and keep away from alcohol during the weekends. Gemini, you're in for an eventful week in the cosmic realm. The Sun is shining in your first house, boosting your social status and assertiveness. You'll take charge and play a central role within your groups, although it might leave you feeling a bit lonely at times. Saturn and Neptune have taken residence in your 10th house, ensuring stability and responsible work in your career or creative endeavors. You're striving to maintain the reputation you've built over the years. If you're in the arts or culture, you'll enjoy support from enthusiasts, though your social standing may be a bit shaky. On the spiritual front, Pluto's retrograde in your 9th house stirs your interest in higher education, philosophy, and the mystical. Be mindful not to impose your opinions on others too strongly, though. Venus makes an entrance into your 3rd house, signaling intellectual growth and increased communication skills. You'll feel adventurous and motivated to pursue hobbies or studies. Just watch out for becoming overly motivated and potentially stirring up conflicts within your circle. Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus are cozying up in your 12th house, inviting you to explore your inner world. Your imagination will run wild, and your curiosity will lead you down unexpected paths, from supernatural interests to advocating for social change. You'll find solace in solitude and engage in activities that are close to your heart. Mars squares Jupiter, pushing you towards solitary intellectual pursuits grounded in reality as the week progresses. However, Venus opposing Pluto reminds you to balance self-confidence with avoiding comparisons and jealousy. Emotionally sensitive moments arise with the square between Venus and Jupiter, potentially creating a divide between you and your friends due to diverging interests. When it comes to ideas, it's important to focus on realistic ones for positive outcomes, as highlighted by Jupiter's square with Pluto. Lastly, over the weekend, the Sun square with Neptune and the Moon warns against being overly sacrificial and easily deceived. Take care of your emotional well-being and steer clear of relying on substances to cope with stress. Stay strong, Gemini. Hey Cancer. This week, there's some exciting energy around your finances as Venus enters your second house alongside Mars. It's a time of moderate generosity, but be mindful of your spending habits. While you work hard and gain recognition in a competitive field, make sure you're not impulsively splurging. If you're in an arts-related job, you have the potential to earn a good income. On the educational front, Saturn and Neptune in your exalted ninth house pique your interest in traditional or mystical subjects, but be careful not to lose touch with reality. In your eighth house, Pluto is retrograde, suggesting you take your time when it comes to matters of heritage or other people's possessions. Moving on to your friendships, the 11th house is buzzing with activity. Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus are there, expanding your social circle and boosting your horoscope through meaningful connections. You're open-minded, sociable, and likely to have unique and influential friends around you. You may also develop an interest in social or environmental issues. In your 12th house, the Sun highlights your inner world and the importance of private time. If you're involved in service, welfare, or religious work, you'll find great satisfaction now. As the week progresses, Mars squares Jupiter, reminding you to strike a balance between work and personal life. Don't let your desire for economic activity overshadow your social interests. Venus opposes Pluto, bringing confidence and self-esteem to the forefront. Be careful not to get caught up in comparisons or become jealous or paranoid. Emotional sensitivity arises as Venus squares Jupiter, potentially causing friction in relationships and leading to extravagance. Jupiter and Pluto square off, emphasizing the need to find a harmonious balance between your home and social life. Lastly, over the weekend, the Sun squares Neptune and the Moon, making you overly sympathetic and prone to self-sacrifice. Be cautious of others taking advantage of you and avoid relying on substances to cope with stress. Take care, Cancer, and find a healthy balance this week. Hey there, Leo. Exciting times ahead. Venus is entering your first house, which means your sociable and outgoing nature will be on fire. Just remember to keep your excitement in check to benefit from the help and encouragement you can receive from others. Your competitive spirit is also on the rise, so make the most of it. Now, let's talk relationships. Pluto is retrograde in your 7th house, indicating the possibility of meeting the love of your life. Marriage and partnerships are on your mind, and if you tie the knot during this time, get ready for some major life changes. On the career front, Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus are hanging out in your 10th house of social success. Working for a large organization or being involved in technology or media can lead to significant recognition and even promotions. Impressive stuff, Leo. However, there's a slight hitch. Saturn and Neptune in your 8th house may bring challenges related to inheritance, property, and even fidelity in marriage. Stay independent and rely on your own abilities during this time. Moving on to friendships, the Sun in your 11th house puts a spotlight on your pals and hobbies. Enjoy quality time with your friends and pursue your interests. Be mindful, though, as your desire for social success can sometimes overshadow the feelings of others. Also, watch out for excessive fantasies and avoid comparing yourself to others or falling into jealousy. Emotionally sensitive. That's because Venus is squaring Jupiter, which might cause some friction. Your demanding nature and self-centeredness may create difficulties in getting along with others. Oh, and one more thing, Jupiter and Pluto are in a square, so finding balance between your home and social life is crucial. Inner conflict might arise, but you'll get through it. Lastly, over the weekend, the Sun squares Neptune and the Moon. You might find yourself being overly sympathetic and willing to sacrifice yourself. Be cautious, as others might take advantage of your kind nature. Conflicts within close family relationships could also emerge, leaving you emotionally distressed. Remember, it's important to find healthier ways to cope with stress rather than turning to alcohol or substances. So, keep that in mind and stay sober when you can. Best of luck navigating the week, Leo. Hey there, Virgo. Saturn and Neptune in your 7th house bring instability to your relationships, so be cautious about committing to marriage. However, the Sun in your 10th house promises social success, potentially leading to fame or promotion at work. With Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus in your 9th house, higher education and intellectual pursuits thrive, offering opportunities for growth and travel. Beware of overwork and physical strain as Pluto retrogrades in your 6th house. As Venus enters your 12th house, hidden energies and secret relationships come to the forefront, encouraging artistic expression and philanthropy. Find a balance between your social and introspective activities as Mars squares Jupiter. Watch out for emotional sensitivity and avoid becoming jealous or paranoid during Venus square with Pluto. Strive to maintain a healthy balance between your social and private life during Jupiter and Pluto's square. Lastly, be cautious over the weekend as the Sun squares Neptune and the Moon, making you susceptible to deception and emotional turmoil. Stay grounded and avoid relying on substances to cope with stress. Hey, Libra. The Sun's position in your 9th house intensifies your intellectual curiosity and broadens your worldview. You approach your interests with depth and idealism, focusing on higher education, religion, law, and philosophy. However, be cautious of getting drawn into drama and seeking serious relationships due to Pluto's retrograde in your 5th house. This week, you'll find emphasis on inheritance and the possessions of others as Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus reside in your 8th house. Balancing independence and material inheritance will be key. Take care of your career, health, and work environment, ensuring a liberal and healthy approach. With Venus entering your 9th house, you'll enjoy vibrant friendships and engaging social activities. However, be mindful of self-consciousness leading to trouble. Mars square Jupiter may heighten your desire for property and power, potentially affecting your relationships, but it should resolve by the week's end. Be cautious with Venus opposing Pluto, as the desire for social success may lead to business endeavors and financial moves, but avoid becoming jealous or paranoid. Emotional sensitivity may arise from Venus square Jupiter, possibly distancing you from friends. Balancing your social and private life becomes essential with Jupiter and Pluto in square, so strive for harmony. Lastly, over the weekend, be wary of sacrificing yourself too easily, as others might take advantage or deceive you. Conflicts within family relationships may arise, leading to emotional distress. Stay sober and avoid relying on substances to alleviate stress. Hey Scorpios, let's dive into your horoscope. Relationships take the spotlight with Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus hanging out in your 7th house. While things might get a bit complicated, you have the potential for rewarding partnerships, both intellectually and financially. If you're single, keep an eye out for someone with financial strength through work or social activities. Venus enters your 10th house, boosting your desire for social success and recognition. If you're in creative or aesthetic industries, this is your time to shine. Just be careful not to make too many enemies in your pursuit of status. Family matters come into play as Pluto shakes things up in your 4th house. Changes in your home life and relationships with your parents may be on the horizon. Love takes a serious turn with Saturn and Neptune in your 5th house, causing you to prioritize long-term commitment over casual flings. Your standards are high, so choose wisely. The Sun in your 8th house suggests potential inheritances or support from others. Resolving relationship issues is in the cards as Mars squares Jupiter, bringing relief over the weekend. However, watch out for intense emotions regarding family dynamics as Venus opposes Pluto. Your feelings about your loved ones may be both positive and negative, so navigate with care. Emotionally sensitive moments arise with Venus squaring Jupiter, potentially leading to conflicts due to self-centeredness. Try not to alienate your friends and be cautious with your demands. Jupiter square Pluto brings a mix of responsibility and possible turmoil at home, depending on your attitude and relationship dynamics. Lastly, the weekend brings the Sun squares with Neptune and the Moon, cautioning against excessive sympathy and self-sacrifice. Others might take advantage of you, so stay sober and seek healthier coping mechanisms. Stay strong, Scorpios. Hey Sagittarius. This week, your focus will be on relationships, family, education, career, and personal growth. With the Sun shining in your 7th house, it's a fortunate time for partnerships and joint ventures if you're in sync with your partner. Just remember, your life can be influenced by the people you surround yourself with. Saturn and Neptune in your 4th house indicate strict parental influence and a deep dedication to family. Moving on, Venus enters your 9th house, igniting your passion for the arts and intellectual pursuits. However, be careful of pride and potential disagreements. In your 8th house, Venus stirs up desires and temptations, especially of a sexual nature. Pay attention to your boundaries. Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus in your 6th house favor brain-intensive work and a yearning for high-status positions. But be aware of your tendency to be lazy. Pluto retrograde in your 3rd house sparks an intellectual appetite and the potential for life-changing experiences through learning and travel. Mars squares Jupiter, urging you to find a balance between compromise at work and standing up for your beliefs. Venus opposes Pluto, intensifying your emotions and fueling your desire for individuality. Venus squares Jupiter, making you emotionally sensitive and potentially causing conflicts with friends. Jupiter squares Pluto, highlighting responsibility and the possibility of professional turmoil. Finally, over the weekend, the Sun squares Neptune and the Moon, cautioning you to be wary of being too sympathetic and susceptible to deception. Conflicts within family relationships may arise, leading to emotional distress. Remember to avoid relying on substances as coping mechanisms. Stay strong and sober. Attention, Capricorn. Pluto's retrograde in your 2nd house brings fluctuations in your economic power and abundance. Family businesses will see steady income, but business owners may experience some instability. Love and entertainment take center stage as Jupiter, Mercury, and Uranus occupy your 5th house. You're likely to fall in love with someone close in age or status, and luck will shine through romance. However, your relationships may be a bit unconventional, with sudden attractions and cool-offs. Remember to be reliable and faithful to your partner. Watch out for conflicts over inheritance or spending with your spouse as Venus enters your 8th house. Legal disputes, though, will work in your favor. Your focus on labor, career, and health intensifies with the Sun in your 5th house. You'll excel at work and prioritize your well-being. With Neptune in your 3rd house, communication and learning become imaginative and intuitive. Tap into your artistic side, but be mindful of delusions. Embrace the freedom to travel. Mars squares Jupiter, causing some relationship frustrations, but they will fade away by the weekend. Venus opposes Pluto, triggering a desire for financial advancement while warning against arrogance, jealousy, and paranoia. Emotional sensitivity may arise as Venus squares Jupiter, leading to conflicts and extravagance. Jupiter and Pluto square, urging responsibility with a touch of leniency in financial matters. As the weekend approaches, be cautious of potential deception and vulnerability as the Sun squares Neptune and the Moon. Stay sober and avoid being taken advantage of or succumbing to emotional distress. That's it for your week, Capricorn. Stay aware and make the most of these influences. Welcome, Aquarius. Get ready for some significant shifts in the stars. Pluto's retrograde in your 1st house means you'll slowly uncover your hidden talents, especially in moments of urgency. As Venus enters your 7th house, be prepared for attractive yet demanding partners who may lead to conflicts. Your financial situation, represented by Saturn and Neptune in your 2nd house, is improving, but be cautious of deception. Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus in your 4th house bring changes in your home life, supported by your family and a stable environment. The Sun in your 5th house ignites your passion for romance and entertainment. Although Mars squares Jupiter, causing property conflicts, resolution is on the horizon. Venus squares Pluto, encouraging you to boost self-esteem without arrogance or jealousy. Emotionally sensitivity due to Venus square Jupiter may distance you from friends. With Jupiter square Pluto, focus on responsibility and platonic love towards family. The Sun squares with Neptune and the Moon caution against self-sacrifice and susceptibility to deception, reminding you to maintain sobriety and avoid relying on substances for stress relief. Hey, Pisces! Your rulers Neptune and Saturn are hanging out in your 1st house, making you a bit of a complex character. You're strict and sincere with yourself, yet trusting and easily fooled by others. People see you as responsible but maybe a bit clueless. Balancing self-control with your artistic flair will be key. The Sun shines a light on your 4th house, putting family, wealth, and real estate in the spotlight. Expect a pleasant, though conservative, time with your loved ones. Work-wise, Venus enters your 6th house, joining Mars. You'll excel in competitive settings, but be careful not to rub your boss or co-workers the wrong way by being too eager. Keep an eye on your health too. Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus are hanging out in your 3rd house, favoring communication and learning. Your curiosity will lead to intellectual growth and the attraction of interesting people. If you're feeling adventurous, consider some travel to satisfy your thirst for knowledge. Pluto is retrograde in your 12th house, indicating a disconnect from the outside world. Your likes and dislikes are kept close to your chest. Stay true to yourself, and things should work out fine. Mars squares Jupiter, so watch out for conflicts at work. Find a balance between asserting yourself and maintaining harmony with your boss and colleagues. Venus opposes Pluto, setting the stage for passionate love and fantasies. Just be careful not to become jealous or arrogant. Venus also squares Jupiter, heightening emotional sensitivity. Your interests might clash with your friendships, and you could become a bit demanding. Keep your artistic pursuits in check and avoid extravagance. Jupiter squares Pluto, emphasizing the importance of responsible behavior and good intentions. Whatever you do, think of others and avoid being selfish. Lastly, the weekend brings challenges as the Sun squares Neptune and the Moon. Be cautious of being overly sympathetic or easily deceived. Family conflicts may arise, causing emotional distress. Stay away from unhealthy coping mechanisms and try to keep a clear head.